Good morning. I always put on my happy face when the recording starts. And as in all life, we put on faces. We put on a face that we think the world wants to see. And right now, we are September 2020, and we are holding the length and depth of a pandemic, a virus, where we're separated from other people. There's a risk we ourselves could die, or worse, taking it and giving it to our loved ones. We also have a huge amount of uh, landscape being incinerated, burned. Then, on top of that is the smoke, and smoke particles are so tiny they can go right in your lungs. So while the physical survival and figuring out, I have my kids here, and it's mask on, mask off. I'm outside, I need the mask. I'm in the car, do I need it? It's physically exhausting right now. I'm seeing people are going to a state of, well, I'll just sit here in my house. I'll have a filter on. It's really more and more and more and more sensory, physical shutdown. But what's not shutting down is our emotions, because there is a long growing list of sadnesses related to losses and anticipatory loss. So I'm going to start going through my list, and your list might not be the same, but mine might give you some ideas of the depth of loss that we're really having right now. One, habitual rituals of things that bring us joy and make us feel safe. Maybe you went to a favorite store and had coffee. Maybe you stopped at a friend's house. Maybe you had a certain croissant, and that business is gone out. The businesses that we like to go to, the people that we communicate with, all shattered. And if you do go in, there is a sense of shock, apocalypse, have to wear a mask, and even traveling there is tricky. Traveling to see relatives is tricky. You can't get in a plane safely if you have to for business, and or if you just really are really careful. But maybe you're not getting to see, for me, for instance, my grandson. And the other day in our wedding, the 1-year-old couldn't come because of the smoke outside, even though it was outside, social distancing. So this is, it's not just loss and sadness, but there's also anger. Who is doing this and why? And we have some hints and some answers of some careless leadership, not foresighted, but short-sighted and selfish. And we also have the potential, and those in high places that I truly trust and have very accurate information from source, is that the West Coast itself is being targeted and is under attack in such a way that the consciousness and the types of beings that are present here moving forward with the planetary changes, they were sensing the changing weather patterns, chemtrails as desiccants to dry everything out, and then laser beams, fireballs, whatever you call it, to set simultaneous fires everywhere, plus natural occurrences of power lines and wind. And we have an arsonist here in Olympia. I mean, it's just piling up. So it's a sense of helplessness, disempowered, anger. How dare they? And all of this is occurring exactly as planned. And that's why we do these meditations. It's almost as if we are being purified first, the West Coast. There's a saying, and I should have written down who said it, but this saying was by a wise man previously, like many years ago. As California goes, so the nation, and so the world. So here we are, trying to hold a different vibration. And it's just like we're martyrs right now. We are martyrs and heretics saying new things. Justice and peace for all. Everyone is lovable. A California free spirit, unconditional love, which is in a, I'm not saying everybody, but in a more generous portion than other places within the United States. Why? Because people are attracted by resonance, and they are here to meet their tribe and to get together and do creative artistic projects and meditations to continually open up to the divine plan and their role in it. So we're going through a needed, because I'll tell you, if we would have gotten the lesson and just moved ahead and really did our spiritual work, but these things come in direct alignment with us needing to understand that we need each other, number one. And when everything falls apart, you sort your values and start doing some gold panning, and you go right to the divine principles of life. What is important? Love, truth, truth by the governors, truth by the president, truth by our leaders to wear a mask, to do this. We are absolutely, Californians are saying, what is the truth of the fires? What is the truth as I discern of this so-called leader, these leaders and the followers? I am being fooled. I am being burned out of my home. I am being exposed to a deadly virus from a laboratory in creation to do exactly what it's doing now to mankind. Evil, those dastardly deed people will not win. Why? Because our wattage and our holding the divine principles of creation will win all, will overcome, will dominate by the very nature of physics. So let's talk about what are these divine principles that will overcome? The anger, the rage, how dare you, the sadness for the subsequent losses. I didn't even go through the whole loss laundry list. Money, safety, we might lose electricity, the food chain might go down, but I just think of the things that you have lost and are thinking that you might lose within all of this that's going on. But we always come back to these core divine principles. And I've talked about them before, but they are our savior. Okay. Truth. Within yourself, in your relationships, there's no time to mess around. Say the truth. Let that party and walking on eggshells be done, over. Beauty. You can still eke out beauty in order, cleanliness, the things that truly are divine principles. Proportion, color, and that starts with what you wear, your own environment, the cleanliness, the pleasantness of it, all that has in divine order. Truth, beauty, goodness. When things are falling apart, who do we go to? The goodness person. The person who listens to us, who always has soup on the stove, the one who's there to see us as we really are. Goodness is a huge, is same thing as kindness. Goodness, kindness, harm to none and good for all. Love is kind of the anchor. Truth, beauty, goodness, love. Love is the anchor because love is the highest form of all this. If you practice unconditional love, all of this just gets eaten up like it vaporizes it. If you're thinking of the highest good, and even if the highest good in generating love is bringing unpleasant experiences to people until they get that their operational system needs to be less selfish and focused on love. So people can get mad at all these things they want, But Earth is on a journey and people are on a journey. And sometimes tough love and the lessons are deeper than we imagined. But our emotions are still real. So that's why we're having these conversations. We can't just sweep them under the carpet and go around being enraged all the time. Why? Because then you can't get to the end of the lesson. This is like all homework and preparation of, I surrender to love. I surrender doing things to sustain this planet, which I love. I surrender to telling the truth so that I am in harmony with other humans and they trust and love me. Okay. Now the others are a bit esoteric. They're even hard for me to say. But if you are on your ascension journey, okay, here we go. Omniscience. Omniscience is to be everywhere at once. And we talk about the grid 0 points all around the planet, and we go there. So we practice omniscience when we rest in our hammocks as part of the entire grid, and we can move and access different information systems and go places. You're everywhere at once, and your vibration is everywhere at once. But when you become aware of it and you actually channel it and focus it and drive it, okay, you're well on your way towards ascension. Omnipotence. Powerfully, potency, it's a different of impotence. You understand that you have an entire toolkit, and through a simple thing like Be the Light meditation, which you're doing right now, you can isolate, protect yourself, bring in omnipotent creative energies. And if you're not battling within yourself with negativity, you just guide that. Guess what? Change your environment. Takes a long time, takes years to be able to use your thoughts, going through your heart, good for all, harm to none, and to recreate this reality. It's not a quick something unless spirit transpires to give you a quick miracle just to show you can do it. But in general, you have many other variables to work with, and miracles aren't just going to happen all the time because you choose it, unless you have mastered all the 7 principles, and there are 10 steps to each. So there are 70 tests, levels, purification until you become a pure, fully embodied, divine emissary on earth. Is here as representing and being source. Okay, so omniscience, omnipotence, omnipresence. Okay, let me go back. Omniscience is to see and understand everything and to be omnipresent is to be able to be present and to bilocate and to change. Like some people say, oh, I saw that, I saw Jesus. He just vaporized there. Omnipresence. Someone has a thought, in the ethers, it is materialized in the vibrational level where a human can actually see it. And of course, divine beings who've gone through the 70 levels monitor everywhere. Why? Because they're omnipresent and omniscient. They know everything. They know the chart of, oh yes, to be present here in a human's visual ray, that's this many vibrational cycles, and I'm going to bring my consciousness down and I'm going to put it in a form this person feels comfortable with. They see God through the Jesus, through Kuan Yin, through this, and they're going to materialize right there for you. Why? Omniscient. They have the great alchemical book, and they are present, they can hear, and they can respond. Okay, so that is your map. That is your GPS to help you overcome any sense of not being empowered. And if you are anchored in love, you will do and say the right things that assist everyone to get out of their human mentality and to go into their divine co-creative. The 5th dimension, here we are, 3rd dimension. The 5th dimension is simply people getting who they are and going through the 70 subsequent steps. And you don't have to go through all of them perfectly, but there is a specific entry level vibration, okay? Down here, people in fear, 200, 400, people who join cults and want to be protected and are promised miracles and things, 300, 400. And science only has so much, and they can't prove it because they have to start using divine principles. So they level out a high 400s. Then you come up, people start feeling truth, beauty, goodness, go to church, harm to none, good. Okay, but then you get to the level of 732 and you pop through. It's just like that chart in high school, gamma rays, X-rays, high whistles you can't hear, certain dogs can. This is the human thing. Everything is vibration. So when you hit the vibration level of 732, you pop through this consensus reality and you start being able to see floating beings of consciousness. Suddenly the room is full. Everywhere is full. There's beings, and you see thoughts vibrate, an awful thought coming to you. And before you might have just taken it in, thought, why am I thinking that? The first thought might not be yours, but the second thought, if you hold on to it, could be. So that's why we go through the protective process and cleaning process all the time with Be the Light. Is this me, or am I just absorbing? Especially as you're going up the ladder to 732 hertz and you pop your head out, this is where your discernment and your journey must have brought you to a place where you can identify misinformation. And I've been posting that it is my sense that there are specific groups from other countries that are coming in and they're working with light workers because they know they would never vote this president. And they are coming in on a platform as if they're a divine being. I am this divine being, and I'm telling you this president is a light worker and that you need to channel. You have a group of 6,000 people. Okay, that's a sideways platform, okay? And some governments have the technology to work with disembodied beings and also to speak from technology systems that if there's a room of 20 people, just get this, and they want to give me a message, they can send over an encoded vibrational beam and I will hear in my ears whatever message they want to tell me, and no one else in the room will hear it. So you think it's spirit. You think, oh, it's a divine being. I have to share this. People are confused. I need to wake them up. So it becomes a thought storm, and other people have that same thought storm, and it all came from the sideways platform. I watched a fellow pretend he was doing Archangel Michael, and I said, the vibration of the words did not match Archangel Michael. And then I saw it was a sideways platform trying to give this person's ego some energy. So why am I saying all this? Because as a light worker, as you are going through these 70 steps, the tests are mighty, and we must give it lots of thought, discernment with integrity. We can't just focus on being happy. That's a spiritual bypass. This whole process takes definitely time, and it is so worth it, because think about later, if you got convinced with some side crazy thing and that the outcomes were very profound, you'd say, I wish I would have given it more thought, more attention. Hold 1 second. So the reason I'm saying all of this is that you're here as the answer. No matter what's happening outside of you, you see it as a natural consequences. A mother watches her child have an eating disorder, eating way too much, and you watch them. And at what point do you intervene? As their weight goes up and their skin and their mood and everything, you you wait until it's dire consequences. You don't, you can't, free will, and you want your person to develop their own inner resources. Earth has gone so far off to self-annihilation that the divine plan does entail a rescue system. And I've said this many times, and I'm going to say it's very important. The rescue system is me and you. We must go and resonate with, discover, and move forward with these principles of divine creation in every moment. Don't waste your time on negative thoughts. Use creative processes to work out your emotions. Painting, running, singing, cooking, talking. Release the negative emotions. Don't be in isolation, and set specific times, specific goals. Just like we always set specific goals during our meditations, to just let all that running circles go. And you are aware of what principles being brought into you with your free will and choice. How am I going to honor the deepest truth process in this moment? And you know, the deepest process of being kind, and being kind does not mean giving away the store with no boundaries. No, being kind is assisting, you could probably tell me right now, assisting the other person become empowered to understand their own divine power. And sometimes it's letting them vacillate a little bit. And I think in this particular point, all of these tragedies are helping us come to our senses. So let's come to our senses quicker and faster, less trauma. Okay. So I know we like to drop in. So let's make an intention. And today, rather than come up with a group intention, I know that you each have your own individual intention to give attention to. And it is related to your path of the 70 steps to freedom, and you're stuck on a step. It could be anything. Where's my money coming from? How am I going to feel safe? How can I co-create? How can I be more honest with this person when I feel they'll bludgeon me? How can I use more discernment in this situation? You choose what it is that is eating away at the edges of your heart right now and you're not feeling comfortable. Okay? All right. So we're going to go through the pure, simple, be the light steps on your issue. Okay. Take a deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. We ask and intend to set a sacred space. We place a hold on of balance over your entire energy field. We command that only energies of the highest light may be in this space now. We ask that we are protected from other people's thoughts, from smoke, from the virus, and from EMF, all those electrical waves. We are completely protected and safe in our space. Take a nice deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. Notice how good that feels to claim your sovereignty. Excellent. Just feel that. Call in your spirit guides and the divine beings of light to be here with us now, to help us raise our vibrations and to hold us in the hammock of peace and light and calm, while we are stating that we choose in our own personal realm to be accountable. To be accountable. And to be accountable is to care. And this issue in your heart shows you how much you care. That something isn't going smooth, something is not harmonious, and see that this issue is part of your spiritual journey. It is a lesson It's a tough essay to write. It's the chemistry that you're not quite on the other side of understanding. It's related to human foibles, of which you're mastering your human condition. So look at it as something you simply haven't graduated from that step yet, and you will, and you'll look back and you'll smile, and your toolkit will be multiplying. So we are setting this up to show you that this step, however important, taking so much thought right now, we're going to take the ouchy emotional override aspect of it out of your system. Take a very deep breath through the nose and out through your mouth, and notice it's not so strong anymore. Notice where you hold it in your body. And imagine that it is now being surrounded with the beautiful white light that is helping dislodge some of the density. Even if it's something very deep and represents a long-term issue, this is just a little tendril of it. Take a nice deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. So we're going to ask for help. The biggest step of the Be the Light process is to open your crown chakra. Take a deep breath. Let's ask the Creator, the dispenser of everything, if we ask, and allow a beautiful beam of pure white light to come down and to make a ball of light over your head. And we will wait and pause for one moment and just know and anticipate that this luscious ball of light has tiny little scissors that will start snipping all those little energetic tie downs for this issue, okay? Keeping it in your body and keeping annoying you and occupying your mind in the middle of the night, making you hold your breath and get all sorts of physical reaction. Okay, let this beautiful ball of light begin to shimmy down, and it holds answers, therapeutic rejuvenation, release, and we are just using our creative imagination. We're taking a very deep bath behind our eyes, into our brain stem. We are receiving the healing and all of the light and reconfiguration of our energy field all at once. It's like a complete refurbishment. Wonderful. Notice as it streams through your body, it's like streaming light. Ribbons of streaming light that absorb the old and exude divine light. So you may have already thought, well, gee, my issue is related to my journey in truth, or creating more beauty, or love, or goodness, and we ask and intend that the vibration that we are seeking to release is disheveled, dissolving, and removed. Take a deep breath, and we are creating new space for more of that new vibration, more truth, more beauty, more love. And we're just bringing it in like jewels from heaven. We're bringing it in dazzlingly so, recreating the picture, adornment, the holding of this issue till you feel empowered, somewhat queenly. Queens are never ruffled. Why? Because they have an inner confidence. They have a kingdom. They have everything they need. People appreciate them. They are beloved and kind and good. The queen archetype we're working with. So let this go all through your body, your stomach. Let it release all that tension. Let it go through your legs. And we are working with our physical body and our emotional systems. And as it goes through, there's little way stations of nervous systems. So we're saying, we're letting go. Everything is well. Everything is healing. This too shall pass. I see it for what it is. I am letting go. I am choosing well-being. I am in greater service to others as I learn to release my personal anguish and thought cycles so that I can teach others to be empowered and release their anguish and co-create a new world together based on these principles where we do not have to suffer and be traumatized, where we are finished with our lessons, school is over, we graduate, we create new lives of joy, reciprocity, harmony, and most of all for humans, safety. Humans have not felt safe on this planet for a long, long time. So let's ask and intend to bring in the vibration of safety. Anchor it in your base chakra. I am safe. I am safe no matter what. My soul is safe. My consciousness is safe. And I am observing people's journeys. And I am observing humans' natural consequences. And I am present and in service to assist humanity across the bridge for a new experience. This now is creating a new pulse in your body. And the pulse is commensurate with the divine plan's pulse, with the new emerging Earth's pulse. Don't worry, Earth will be okay. She'll shake humans off like fleas, which is she's doing right now. And she will regenerate and heal herself, the Earth, and then the divine plan. What is standing in the way? Humans still asleep, thinking they're in control and in charge of everything and stealing the marbles from everybody else and creating unsustainable things. So you are a leader of the humans, the asleep ones. So we are waking up. You are on your 70-step path. You're well on your way. Congratulate yourselves and know the best is yet to come. When you understand and acknowledge your ability to create in this environment and to create this bridge, can you imagine how much you would love and appreciate yourself? All that gets in the way, well, it's part of your path on these principles. It's definitely coming better and better and better. And that's why you're here. Nothing can dent your soul or consciousness. This body might have some rock and roll experiences, maybe even greater. You hold this tether because that's the human realm that's going to be allowed to stay. You are here to allow humans to continue living on this planet. Without you and people like you, done, just animals. This is a divine plan, but it requires your accountability, showing up, and you do it every day. Saying, whoa. And we're not even doing our work and navigating so much in the third dimension right now. We're doing most of it in our unconscious, in the etheric, because we are multi-layered divine beings who aren't full awake ourselves. We are only shown what is right for us to understand, what we can assimilate. The best is yet to come, and it is coming, and it's very exciting. So when the pandemic first came, I said, what? God, it was so clear. Tribunal within ourselves, taking us all to justice. What have we done? A reckoning, looking, seeing, standing, admitting, accountability, and third, jubilation. So we get to decide what is the length between those three steps. I personally want to do as much work as I can so we get to the jubilation, the celebration of creating a new milieu for Earth. which is working on what? Truth, beauty, goodness, omniscience, omnipotence, omnipresence, and new paradigm initiatives with really smart, articulate leaders of how to live. Things I don't know, but we need each other. We need each other right now. Mitigating climate change, working with the earth, food systems, transportation systems, the whole deal. It's a new divine government coming to this earth, hopefully in our lifetime. Even that is stair-stepped. The earth has changed. So, but we know that we are the transition, we are the bridge, and we are strong, and we are up for it. There. So now go in your heart and think of that little agonizing issue. It doesn't seem so big anymore, does it? Why? Because when you go to the tight thing and you go to the bigger picture and you go to that tight thing, it loosens the grip. It's like you get the eagle's view, okay, of a whole thing. That's actually the avatar training, going to that and going to the big, of which I took, and I think that was a very powerful element I learned there. Okay, so today's meditation I had to couch or hold into bigger pictures and principles to give you the hope, the big hope. We needed big hope to work on the big sadness, the grief, and the sense of not knowing also grips us. Well, I just told you. Tribunal, reckoning, jubilation. I'm so glad to be here with you on this team here today. And we will see if people will see, and we will create it together. So thank you for joining me today on this Be the Light meditation. And it is September 2020, the year we will never forget. You can find more of my work, and I do personal sessions. People go, I call it, they get out of the core of their tree and they get up on a limb. And for 45 minutes, I can talk you off the limb and get you breathing again. And so just contact me, soundandlighthealingarts.com. Okay.